Welcome, everybody, to the Now My Story Begins in 19-2. We had to say Dickety because the Kaiser had stolen our word for 20. I chased that rascal to get it back, but gave up after Dickety 6 Miles, the podcast. Yes, hello, everybody, and welcome to A Perfectly Cromulent Show, episode number 64. If you'd like, you could check out some of our previous stuff on Instagram and TikTok. We're there. We're doing it. It's at Cromulent Show. I feel the need to email us. That's cromulent@gmail.com. That's all the business out of the way. Because you know what? We don't do business here. We do Simpsons. I am here with two lovely ladies, my regular co-host and a special guest host tonight. My regular co-host coming all the way live across the Canadian border. Welcome. It's Kristen A. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Jesse. Hi. All the way from across the Canadian border.
I'm extra vibed up. Look at my cone cat spazzing back there. And for the second time, I'm gonna have one of my children on the show. And if it's up to me, the last. Just kidding. We've had a good time. I think Scotty's gonna have a good time. Okay, welcome to the show, my youngest child, Scotti.
What's up?
What's up? Okay, she's
What's
playing
up?
playing extra cool kid today. Yeah. I told her you could say whatever you want as long as it has something to do with this episode. And she goes, "Can I say something about other episodes?" And I was like, "Well, if it has to do with this episode, why? What do you want to say?" She's like, "I just really like the episode Mr. Plow."
I
feel
feel
good
bad
one, though.
for Homer.
I was like, "Hey, kid, all of us do. All of us
Mr.
do."
Plow, that's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow. It's the best
I
episode.
sang her, "Mr. Plow is a loser, and I think he is a boozer." Yes.
He's
Okay, but that's not the episode we're doing. That's not the episode we're doing. Okay. This episode is titled Lisa the Beauty Queen. It is from season 4. It is episode 4. 4-4, easy to remember. The production code, that's right, 9F02. This aired October 15th, 1992. Scotty, I'm going to ask you the same thing we asked Boston when she was on. What were you doing October 15th, 1992?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
What do you think you were doing?
Wasn't born.
1992.
Yeah, that is accurate.
Yeah,
that is accurate.
Yes. You're negative 24 years old, Scotty.
Oh, it's 24 and I'm 9 right now?
Yep, you were still living half inside dad, half inside mom.
Ugh,
so
that's disgusting to think about.
Yeah. Well,
You just disturbed your child
that's
on
just
so
the way
many
it
levels.
Oh, he disturbs
is.
me all the time.
Yeah, that's that. Those are dad's jobs. Okay, so the writer
Yeah.
on this episode was Jeff Martin. The director was Mark Kirkland. The guest stars Bob Hope, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Hope, and Lana Williams is Amber Dempsey. Not as I should have given Bob Hope the anchor there. The chalkboard gag is I will not prescribe medication. Scotty, what was the couch gag?
They fell off the screen.
Yeah, the film screen, huh? They fell off.
Dad, you're
the film
glitching.
screen. Well, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't
It's
worry
all
about the
good.
video then, okay? If you can't
Okay.
hear me, Kristen will let me know. You just sit there and listen to Simpsons stuff, okay?
All right.
All right, cool. Good to have you here. I love you.
Love you.
All right. Okay, so on this day, October 15th, 1992, serial killer Andrei Chikatilo is convicted in Russia. If you listen to my previous show, Serial Killers, there is an Andrei Chikatilo episode. I don't recommend it, but check it out if you're sick. He's one of the most notorious serial killers in Russian history. He is found guilty of 52 murders. Marking a significant moment in criminal justice. Even a fair-weather true crime fan may have seen photos of this guy because during his trial they kept him in a cage.
One of those types.
He's I mean, I'm not saying any serial killer looks cool. Some of them do, though. This guy does not. Is terrifying. Like it is.
Yeah.
He looks. You look at him and you go, "Oh, that's a serial killer." Very good.
Yeah, like some people so don't look like serial killers. They really, really don't. And you're like, that's a serial killer.
We're looking at you, handsome Uncle Ted Bundy.
Right? It's like
yeah.
Anyway.
So Also on this day, Charles Taylor's Liberian offensive, Liberian warlord Charles Taylor launched a military offensive against Monrovia, escalating the ongoing Liberian Civil War and contributing to the region's political instability. This is how you know there wasn't a lot going on October 15th, 1992. Also, New York City subway motorman was convicted of manslaughter. Robert Ray, a New York City subway motorman, is convicted of manslaughter after falling asleep while intoxicated, me too, resulting in a tragic accident that killed 5 riders. So a subway
Crash.
Yeah, subway crash because he was drunk.
Derailed or whatever and crashed, right?
Yep.
That's why in BC we're like we have the SkyTrain, which nobody drives. It's all computer.
I don't even know what
I
I'm
don't even
doing.
think it can derail, to be honest with you. It's like a monorail.
You're hanging out right now, Scotti. That's what you're doing.
No, I'm using clay and I'm poking holes with the pen.
Okay, well, just pay attention. That's all. Okay, so Howard Stern Radio debuts in the Chicago area for the first time. We all know Howard Stern's controversial, groundbreaking radio show. This is a big move. Chicago area is quite a large radio audience. So Howard Stern gets his shows there. Okay.
Coincidentally, I just watched a documentary about like the rise of Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh because they kind of both came up at the same time, but like two totally different audiences, right?
Very opposite guys, but very like similar size.
Yeah. Like so it was really interesting.
This song is new to the show.
Oh, thank God.
Right? So number one song in America at the time. I was lying to you.
You gave me real hope.
Wow. I'm being for real about your song.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh,
but I will say that
you gave me hope.
In the UK, what was the song? Ebenezer Good?
Yeah.
Ebenezer Good was replaced in the UK. Yes, that's right. In the US and the UK, Boyz II Men, End of the Road, still just absolutely dominating the shit out of the world.
As somebody who was just old enough to like start having like some school dances around that time, they remain dominating everything in that realm until into the end of the 90s. I'm sure. I remember hearing those songs even the years I was graduating and stuff. Like just forever. Boyz II Men.
We don't have a number one movie either. Last of the Mohicans.
Right.
Still the same. New number one book, though.
Okay.
Get out of here, Pelican Brief. We're tired of it. I should say it's actually technically not a new number one book. It has been number one before.
It was just
Pelican Brief overtook it. It is now overtaking Pelican Brief once more. It's called Where is Joe Merchant by Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, okay. I think I've heard of that book once before. In my at some point in my life. I feel like
for
I've
sure
heard
because
that
on one of our episodes we talked about it because it was the number one book for a week. So let's head to Springfield, shall we?
Yes, let's do that.
We go to the Springfield School Carnival, and it is dubbed on the sign as the happiest place on earth. That, of course, leads to a legal threat from Disney, who now owns The Simpsons, so who really won that situation. In this, basically there's an argument back and forth, and they say that Skinner made a huge mistake doing what he did, and he tells them that that's what I got here.
I do love
you made a big mistake, Skinner.
Well, so did you. You got an ex-Green Beret mad.
Briefcase flies and hit.
Copyright expired.
I do love that the briefcase has like some not very well drawn mouse ears on them. Like
Yes,
they squished them to make sure they didn't get in trouble or whatever.
I asked Scotti earlier if she thought Principal Skinner was capable of that before she saw it, and she said yes.
Oh,
so
you think
she had all the faith?
You had faith in Principal Skinner, thinking he was like a deadly, like assassin type of person. He could do it.
You could sense the ex-Green Beret in him, Scotti.
Yeah,
that's good. So we move through. We see, groundskeeper Willie slinging haggis. Get your haggis right here. Chopped hearts and lungs, boiled in a wee sheep's stomach. Good for what ails ya? We've got the guy guessing the guy guessing Homer's age. He guesses and weight, 53 and 420, and Homer laughs. 36 and 239, and the guy goes, ooh. Bart's got a 3-card Monty running. Pick the red, get ahead. Pick the black, set you back. Skinner realizes, what? I didn't approve this. And Bart hits him with like a Batman cloud. Disappears in the cloud of smoke. Bart moves over to the paralyzer, and he dares Otto to speed up the paralyzer is like a rocket.
Yeah, it's like a rocket ship
carousel
ride. Like it doesn't look dangerous at all. Like it's one of those ones that like you could put a little kid on and it's going to be safe, right?
Until Otto is dared to speed it up by Bart, until he speeds it up and it flings one of the cars, luckily an unoccupied one, off the track and into the elementary school, because we are at school carnival after all. We then see a spook house. Millhouse goes in, because who doesn't love a spook house at a carnival? It could be pretty corny, but not Scotti. Too scary.
No spook houses for you.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen how many scary movies I watched?
Yep, she watches a lot of scary movies. So Millhouse goes in, gets beat up by Jimbo, Kearney, and Dolph.
That's spooky, right? That's the scary part. You're gonna get beat up.
Certainly a spook, yeah. So then Bart, he comes out, and Bart's like, "Well, is it spooky?" And he's like, "Yeah." And Bart goes in, and all you hear is "uh-oh," and he gets beat up a little bit. Jeff Martin based this episode on some of his own experiences, such as the scene with Lisa being drawn as a caricature. This is something that Jeff Martin, that's what it's called when you get your picture drawn like that.
That's called a character.
A character is what these people are. When you get yourself drawn like that, it's called a caricature.
Caricature.
Yep,
yeah.
It's a whole new word.
I like that on the signs. I like that on the sign for the caricatures. It's got Farrah Fawcett and
Fonzie and Darth
Vader on a surfboard.
Yes.
On a surfboard. Yeah.
I do love. You like roller skating? No? Yeah, everybody loves roller skating. Lisa finally receives her very unflattering caricature, prompting her to exclaim, "Oh my God, I'm ugly." Everybody saw it on the overhead projector first too and was laughing because,
to be fair, she looks terrible in it. Okay, she's chasing a boy too. She's chasing a boy with love hearts flying off of her, and she looks kind of crazy
on roller skates.
Yep. And the boy she's chasing looks genuinely terrified.
Yeah.
So,
like.
Is that how you chase boys, Scotti?
Oh, the only one I like is Nathan, and he lives in our neighborhood.
Well, now that's on the internet. Okay, so they do
that right
now. they go to a raffle, and there's a raffle for a shoe buffer and a trip on the Duff Blimp. And Homer wants that shoe buffer. Oh, man, he wants that shoe buffer.
He already has one.
Yeah, Marge tells him he's already got one. He's like, yeah, but I want that one. And so the shoe buffer comes up, and of course, Ned Flanders wins it. Flanders wins everything.
I hate him. I hate him.
Scotti hates Ned Flanders as much as Homer does.
He's like Mary. All he cares about is God.
Scotty's a fan of young Sheldon, as you can see.
I am not that big as Boston.
I like that when he's imagining himself when Homer's imagining himself in the blimp, they like fly over a sports game and everybody's got like pre-made sign that says "Hi, Homer."
Ned Flanders wins the shoe buffer. Homer is upset about it. Marge tells him he's got one. He doesn't care. He wants that one. The blimp comes. Homer again, yes, imagines himself winning it. You see those circles there, Homer? That's from Central Point Irrigation. Let's check in on the Super Bowl, and everybody at the Super Bowl chants his name because he's up in the blimp. He's pretty excited. We cut back to the house, and Lisa's in her room. Homer's walking through the house doing his thing.
Hey there, blimpy boy, flying through the sky so fancy free.
And here's something that I assumed but didn't know until tonight.
Hey there, Georgie girl, swinging down the street so fancy free. Nobody you meet could ever see the loneliness there.
What a sad song too. They're like, no one can see the loneliness inside of you, Georgie girl.
You know what's funny? Actually, like, it's like, since you played this, and like I think it happened. I thought this when we were doing this with Boston too. It's like, when I watched this, like, I was like the same ages that they are now when I watched these originally. And it was like, these references were about 30 years
right
in the past for me.
Which true,
then.
100% true. This would have
know
been
what I mean? Like
28-year-old reference at the time. 64 to 92, because the Seeker song was 1964.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so like,
Yep.
I'm sitting there as a kid going, I have no clue what this song is.
Yeah.
Like, should I know?
I mean,
like
I know that
sometimes.
there's no wasted moments in The Simpsons, so I was like, oh, okay, well, this is certainly a real
totally
song
something.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It totally was. So, okay, so Lisa's in her room. Homer's on top of the world as a blimpy boy. It was 1966, actually, so it's only a 26-year-old reference.
Yeah. Only 26 years old, this one.
Yeah, when it came out, now it's 56. 59. 59, actually. Shut up.
You made everybody feel so old.
Yep, shut up. Except Scotti.
I'm 9.
Yeah. What'd you just say? I'm 9.
Yeah, I'm not old.
Okay,
You guys are. Get it?
Okay. So Homer assures Lisa that, like, look, a caricature is not a photo of you. That's not how you choose your attractiveness. It's supposed to be silly. And Lisa's
I feel so bad for her though, because she actually asks him, "Do you think I'm ugly?" Because she's so upset. Like,
yeah. Well, she thinks she is, and he tells him, "No, you're not. You're as cute as a bug's ear." She's like, "You have to say that." And so he's like, "Hey, Dad," as Grandpa Simpson walks by, "am I as cute as a bug's ear?" "No, you're as homely as a mule's butt." See?
I like that he knew it was going to happen.
I'd like to be alone, please.
Yeah, so Lisa just says, "Yeah, I'd like to be alone, please." So we're at Moe's, where Homer asks Barney and Moe if they've ever felt unattractive, and despite their mild repulsiveness, neither of them has ever felt that low in their life. Homer yearns for a way to boost Lisa's confidence when he sees a Laramie Cigarettes sponsored beauty pageant. He sells his blimp ticket to Barney, who has made lots of money doing experimental testing ever since they stopped doing it on the animals. So Barney gives him $250 for the ticket in order to enter Lisa in. And when Barney turns around after talking about all the great medical testing, he's got wires just hanging from the back of his head. Fantastic.
So, how is that fantastic?
Because it's a great joke, Scotti, because it's funny.
Yeah, I don't know one thing, because I'm not like a 90-year-old.
Yeah, neither are we. Not even combined. So
I was just to say, I like that, like, in the commercial, it's kind of like, now basically the point is like, you can prove your kid's the cutest kid now.
Yeah, exactly.
At this pageant.
Like, this is the competition. You better watch out, Scotti. I'm going to put you in a pageant and find out where you rank. So Lisa's still at the table, and she's just kind of sitting there sulking a little bit, and Marge comes over trying to cheer her up, and she tries to sing her a song about ugly ducklings, and Lisa's like, "Oh, I'm just an ugly duckling," and she's like, "No, I was gonna say you were one of the regular ducklings, making fun of the ugly one." And it's actually a song by Hans Christian Andersen from a 1952 film, Ugly Duckling.
Yes.
So
It's true.
Look at that.
I've seen that movie.
Okay, so Lisa goes upstairs or no, she doesn't yet. Homer comes in and he's trying to boost her confidence, and he tells her like, "Whoa, you might be down now, but what if I told you were entered in the Little Miss Springfield pageant?" And she's like, "What? No." And then she takes off. She has no interest in doing it, and Marge tells him like, "Lisa's already sensitive. You're looking at this through a father's eyes. I know that you think she's beautiful and can win this, but Bart's like, yeah, have you seen the other women they have in there? Whoa,
Hubba hubba.
Hubba hubba. I can't remember what the cartoon is called, but it's the wolf.
It's the wolf cartoon. Yeah.
Everybody knows it by now. It's a horny wolf.
Yes, basically, yeah.
1940s cartoons, huh? So Homer believes Lisa's beautiful and can win. Marge finds that very endearing and tells Lisa about the sacrifice that her dad has made, that he has sold his blimp ride ticket to cover the $250 entry fee. Lisa knows how much that ride meant to him and therefore chooses to do the pageant. That's when we see Homer sitting at the table. I should have recorded it, but he's just got a pickle doing, "Hey there, Blimpy boy." And he's sad about it.
It's like the saddest Blimpy boy. It's the saddest Blimpy boy.
Okay, so Lisa decides she's going to do the pageant because she knows what a big sacrifice Homer has made in order to get her into that. So we then see Lisa arrives at the pageant. She's there for like, I don't know, it's like introductory day. She's kind of meeting everybody. And I have to say that these two girls, while they're not like the nicest girls in the world, they definitely like include Lisa, and they aren't alienating to her, and they're not.
No.
So it's just for what it is. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. Okay, so Lisa gets to the pageant. She meets two girls. I don't think they're given a name, but they aren't mean to Lisa. And Lisa, as often, especially in an environment like this, you would almost expect Lisa to be alienated in some way. So it was kind of nice to see these two girls, while alienating another girl, did include Lisa. First they talk about Lisa Epstein. And they're like, whoa, if you're going to binge, you got to purge. Then Amber Dempsey walks in. She was once the pork princess and the kosher queen or the kosher. Yeah. All in the same week.
They imply that she's won many like titles and an endorsement.
Right. It's just about winning the contest, not about what the contest is about.
What it is. Yeah.
So they say
she walks in with a little fur coat on too. Like
yeah.
And drops it on the ground.
She's very 1940s starlet, right?
Yes.
Is that how you enter a room, Scotti, with a fur coat on and you drop it to the floor and
dramatically?
Make your grand entrance?
Not with the fur coat, but any coat I walk in from the front door.
Yep, grand entrance, Scotti. Yeah, I've picked up those coats before.
Yep.
So she gets she flashes her eyelashes, and they make like it's like such a visible sound, and they're like eyelash implants. And Lisa,
I thought those were illegal.
Yep, they're not in Paraguay. So yes, she has her illegal Paraguayan eyelashes. Lisa thinks she's basically in for it after seeing Amber Dempsey, which, let's be real, Amber Dempsey wins a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you can go.
No, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Like when Boston said, you should only be able to join a pageant 3 times if you won all the time.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just keep rejoining. That's not fair for the other people.
Oh yeah.
If you win too much, you got to stop winning.
Yeah. Then would we do songs like all I do is win, 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 no matter what? What would we do with those songs?
We say all I do is win, win 3 times and then quit. Okay.
Anyways.
So yes. Lisa's not feeling great about it. She gets home and tells Marge about how Amber is like the Jack Nicklaus of the pageant circuit. Marge doubts the validity of Lisa's claim while imagining Jack Nicklaus's butt after making a putt. and says,
I doubt
she's as attractive as Jack Nicholas. And Lisa's like, I meant as she wins as much as Jack Nicholas. And Marge is like, oh yeah, that's what I meant too. She agrees to take Lisa to a beauty parlor and kind of do the ins and outs. Bart offers some of the strangest advice he could possibly offer, but like it does totally make some sense.
And later, I'll teach you the tricks of the trade. Taping your swimsuit to your butt, petroleum jelly on your teeth for that frictionless smile, and the ancient art of padding.
Why does Bart know all that?
Because we've discussed this. He is a lover of women, even though he is very young. That's the salsa dancer, Miss Krabappel.
Wait, why do you get a Slurpee?
Don't worry about it.
I like it. Don't worry about it. That was really great. But he's a lover of women, and women love him apparently, as long as they're not like his teacher.
Yeah, even later in this episode, I misjudged you.
Yeah, and doesn't he like do a little catwalk during that time too? Like at that
later
time or
does,
later,
for sure.
he's got a very good catwalk. He's got a very good little.
So they go to the beauty pageant. Lisa is hanging upside down with stuff in her hair and weird glasses on, and there's a guy in a cowboy hat wearing
your eyes.
Yes.
Not coming off.
There's a cowboy hat wearing braided long hair, having French accent toting beautician who sparks a welding torch as they tell her they're just warming up. Lisa's like, isn't this dangerous? And he's like,
I am well protected.
Yes.
And he puts the goggles on his face. Good impression, Scotti. We switched through a couple different hairstyles. The first one is like a short bob. I can't really identify it with anybody. But after that, we get the Bo Derek braids.
Yes.
We get the Grace Jones. I can't remember what the exact. It's like a flat top.
Yeah, it's like the clean kind of buns in there.
The Princess Leia.
The Princess Leia buns. Yep. I can't remember who the first person is either, but
you know what? But everything that I looked up that references these did not have one for it. So I think it's just a random haircut, and then which doesn't make a lot of sense, but
since it goes to specific things after. Yeah.
And then we slide into her having Marge's hair before we finally get Lisa's hair, which is like a little wave to it, which is nice.
It looks like a sunshine. It looks like a sunshine. When people draw like a sun, it looks like a sun.
My question is, why does everyone have hair but Lisa and her family except Marge? I mean, Marge has hair.
Oh, like regular hair, like hair that's not yellow.
Yeah, like
color.
actual hair.
Or it looks
their
like hair, not like an extension of their scalp.
The color of their skin.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not Matt Groening. If we get him on the show sometime, I'll ask him for you, okay?
Maybe one day we'll find out.
Okay, so yeah, I again, there's no wasted moments in The Simpsons. So you see these hairstyles, and you're like, well, that's what's that a reference to? It's like I don't even bother wondering anymore. I just start looking up what it's a reference to.
Go looking for it, unless you inherently know, right? It's like, I know what that is.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Bart and Homer are back at the house, and they see the girls arriving home. Homer teaches Bart a little something about complimenting a woman who just got her hair done. Bart is reluctant, but plays along because Homer tells him that when it comes to compliments, women are blood-sucking monsters, always wanting more. But if you give it, you'll get plenty back in return, if you know what I'm saying. Bart's like, what do you mean? He's just Homer's laying in a hammock.
I will tell you when you're older.
Yeah, drinking lemonade, watching Marge mow the lawn.
When we were first watching it, the boss and me both thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were wrong. You were wrong. See?
Because when it showed it, I said, oh, not what I thought. And boss said, I know, Scotti. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, you guys little dirty minds. You got to subvert your expectations. No. Okay, so when they walk in, Homer raises a hand to his face, faking astonishment, and he's like, "Is that little Lisa?" Oh, I gotta call heaven. There's an angel missing. And who's your little school friend? Says Bart. Oh, wait a minute. That's Mom.
Laying it on thick.
Yep. I know two fellas who will get a special dinner tonight.
But Lisa looks so happy, right?
Yes, she
so
does.
Happy.
why does Marge sound like that? She's like,
That's just what her whole family sounds like, Scotti. Even her sisters. After the girls walk out, Homer and Bart give a high five. Bart asks Homer if he knows anything else about women, and Homer
nope,
says,
that's it.
So Bart applies his newly acquired knowledge at an ice cream parlor while he's sitting there eating a small bowl of ice cream. She comes over and says, like, you've been nursing that tiny bowl for an hour, brushhead. And I can't remember exactly what Bart says to her, but she says, I misjudged you, and gives him a whole huge new sundae.
He says, how does someone who works at a ice cream shop keep such a fine figure like you? Yeah, as trim as you, a trim figure like you.
So we go back to the pageant, and the girls are rehearsing their dance number.
He gets a big ice cream after that too. It's not just
she
like
gives him the big old sundae, right?
The huge sundae, yeah.
So the choreographer is so stressed out. I said step, pause, turn, pause, pivot, step, step. Not step, pause, turn, pause, pivot, step, pause.
Oh, shudder.
Yeah, he takes a drag of a cigarette and shudder. Bart is then working with Lisa here on her acceptance speech and walking in heels, which Lisa finds hopeless. Bart, however, has a special hidden talent for it and shows her precisely heel toe, how to walk in it. He's feeling pretty snazzy himself. When Bart is teaching Lisa to walk in the heels, he poses with his back to her and his head turned to look at her. And this pose is identical to that of Betty Grable in her famous pinup style photographs. And yes,
yeah, as I say, it's a shot. It's like a shot of something else.
And what does he say? What does he say, Scotti?
Hey, I may be thinking I could win this.
Yes.
Bart's feeling. He's feeling a little sexy, huh?
Because Lisa says, "Do you really think I could win?" Hey, I'm starting to think I could win this.
Yeah.
I do like too that when she's teaching her to practice winning, he's like, cry a little tear or whatever, turn and hug the loser, and like they're using Maggie as the loser as a stand-in for the loser. The whole scene is actually really sweet. I like it.
And then you get a little heartwarming moment here because Bart, it's like, it's not easy for him to say this, but Lisa, you're not ugly. Yeah. Yeah. That like, just warms her little heart, and it's a very nice moment between them. Yeah.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's the night of the pageant. And we're seeing the contestants sing their song.
A yield off-ramp in, too. I love that.
Yeah.
Now
what does it say? Like,
free.
now rat-free, 100%.
Little Miss Springfield, which one will it be?
Are you singing the song?
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, okay. Okay, so we see Amber Dempsey introduce herself, and she said, what does she say? Like, when I grow up, I want to be a sweetie pie.
Yeah. And flashes her eyelashes.
Nice locks. You gotta go.
Yep. And then we get Pachucheta Nahasapima Petalon. She appears as one of the contestants. I'm assuming this is Sanjay's daughter because Apu doesn't have kids until he has 8 kids.
Until the eight ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Marge asks them both who's watching the Quickie Mart, and they're both like, and we see Dolph Kearney and Jimbo stealing a squishy machine.
Yeah.
What? I have a little thing here. There's totally Nelson's laugh, and the three of them are doing it, and Nelson is not there.
Not there.
Lisa then
I do like that Sanjay's daughter is going to play MacArthur Park, which is like an insanely long song. Like
it's about 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They play this in the Beatles song. Like the Beatles just
into my hands and I will use it.
It's a long song.
So she says that she's going to play MacArthur Park on what's the instrument she says she's going to play?
Oh yeah, that's what she sounded like.
That's the part I know, the recipe part.
Yes. Anyway, yes, she says she's going to go up. She's going to play MacArthur Park, and she does when she gets there. Lisa goes up and introduces herself, says simply that she wants to be Little Miss Springfield to make the town a better place. Yes. Homer cheers in agreement. Krusty arrives just then, late for the Republican fundraiser.
Hole.
Yes, that is what Homer says.
Clean up the sinkhole. Yeah, I'm funny.
Yeah, Krusty arrives late for what he believes is a Republican fundraiser, but he comes out singing like a pro when he finds out what it is. Little Nahasa Pima Petalon's performance does not go over well. The song, again, is MacArthur Park by Irish singer-songwriter Richard Harris. The song was a one-hit wonder for Harris in the 1960s and is known for its cheesy, mostly indecipherable lyrics. But yeah, she plays it. Lisa comes out and performs jazzed up medley, starting with America the Beautiful, and it turns into Proud Mary. Lisa ripping off her dress to reveal the leotard underneath refers to a mishap Tina Turner had while performing with Mick Jagger during a Live Aid, in which she had a wardrobe malfunction that revealed a leotard under a dress. So that's pretty fun. I'm in the city.
And that song's like a really super famous song for Tina Turner too. Like she used to cover that song.
Right. I was gonna say it's a CCR song, right?
Yeah. But it's like more famous for her.
Tina Turner song, right?
Yeah.
I bet you 9 Inch Nails wish they never sold Johnny Cash the song Hurt. But here we are. Here we are. So Amber captivates the audience by just, fluttering her enhanced eyelashes and her breadth of knowledge of the Bill of Rights. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Good thing.
So much eyelash flashing. Yes. I like how one of the judges is the lady from the ice cream shop, by the way.
Yes, and the barber.
And the barber.
Krusty gets to announce his winner, and it pans around to see a few people, including Homer, who's finishing off the tub of that sweet, sweet petroleum jelly. After deliberation and a warning from Krusty that crowns can be abdicated and references that a camera in a past event, this is in reference to former Miss America, who was forced to abdicate her crown owing to the publishing of nude photos in a magazine devoted to such things. This is a real life situation that a Miss America had to give back her crown.
Vanessa Williams. I can't say her name now. Yeah, Vanessa Williams. I mean, she went on to be very famous for many things, though. Yes. So I mean,
she's good. I think her mistake might have been going into the Larry Flynt magazine, not the Hugh Hefner magazine. I think
choices were made. Right,
but who knows? She shouldn't have had to abdicate her crown for either. But the 80s were a weird place. They're like, just put it in movies. Don't do it in real life. So Amber is crowned Little Miss Springfield after we find out that Lisa has indeed come in as runner-up.
I mean, she came in runner-up though.
Second place.
Also, before you finish what you're saying, I'm going to interrupt you again.
Please do.
When he's singing there, did you notice that his nose turns white for like a second, and it's just like it's just gone for a moment. Anyways, I'm good now.
I love it. It's just the L for losers in her wake, I for income she will make, T is for her tooth-filled mouth. T is for her tooth-filled mouth.
So weird.
Yes. Scotti kept asking, why is that funny when we were watching stuff tonight? And I was like, it either is or it isn't, So we learn about a new trend sweeping the nation on the television, wasting food. It's just people pouring food and drinks into the trash can.
Just like, let me just grab my milk and just dump it out.
Yeah.
Like, who would do that?
And funny enough, people pretty much do that on a daily basis.
Exactly. The news then cuts to Camp Brockman.
Maniacs.
Yeah. On the scene where Amber is doing her first public appearance, opening store. I think it's supposed to be an IKEA thing, maybe.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a ripoff of IKEA, except it's Danish. It's like the shop Jysk, which is IKEA but Danish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're there. She's doing her first public appearance. The Duff Blimp is also there. That's when we see Barney is inside because he got his ticket from Homer for $250. Okay, so we see Barney inside the Duff Blimp, and he's there because he bought that ticket from Homer. So we've come full circle now. And Barney's over the event. He's like, "Hey, can I drive?" And, of course, why not? And Barney basically immediately crashes the Duff Blimp
while screaming.
Very Hindenburg-like. Kent Brockman even screams "Oh, the humanity," which is the same exact line that Herbert Morrison, host of the WLS Chicago radio show, said when the Hindenburg airship exploded in 1937.
It's true.
And then immediately shifts back to Amber christening the new the little spike strip so you don't reverse out of a
severe
parking
tire
lot.
damage
Yes.
bar thing.
Yes.
Spikes. Severe tire damage spikes.
Right. So Marge is worried about her catching a cold out in the rain because it's raining during her public appearance, and Lisa's like,
and there was some thunder.
Lisa's like, I would be more worried if that scepter is metal and not made out of plastic. And then we hear, and Bart goes, "Yep, it was made out of metal." And so Lisa, basically called it. Amber gets hospitalized, and it's okay because she's already Little Miss Intensive Care, basically, right?
Struck by lightning.
Yeah, struck by lightning.
I like it how everyone was in a little, they were all talking, what are we gonna do? All in a circle when he was saying Little Miss Springfield just got struck by lightning.
Yeah.
What was that?
Gathered around her. They were trying to take care of her. Okay, so Lisa is then told she's going to be the new Little Miss Springfield since Amber has to abdicate after being struck by lightning, I guess. But she's okay, so I don't know, whatever.
She can't carry out her duties, though, right? Because she's in the hospital.
Krusty goes to give her scepter, and he keeps doing the do a little faster. Should have been a little faster.
What?
I like too that they actually have. I like that they actually have her signing in. They show her for a second, with her hand on a Bible.
Yeah. That's right. This is where it's totally Lyndon B. Johnson taking the oath after JFK was assassinated, because Marge is even in Jackie O's pink suit.
Because Marge is in. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's they've made it into that important of event.
Where it's Lyndon B. Johnson sworn in after JFK was assassinated on 11/22/63. Okay.
Yes.
Also, Lisa's crown and scepter still melted from the lightning strike.
And steaming. It's steaming still.
Yeah,
this was a fast action.
Still smoldering. Well, so was Lyndon Johnson after JFK was assassinated. We see Lisa's wax museum figure, whose body used to be Dr. Ruth's, and her head is on a pike along with Mr. T and Ronald Reagan. That's Dr. Ruth's head. Those of you who don't know Dr. Ruth clearly didn't grow up in the 90s without cable television.
Right.
So Lisa gets attention at school, and one of the boys tells her that he loves that chewing gum walk, to which Ralph replies, for the first time really in a while, in a really good Ralph voice. The Ralph voice is so inconsistent. He says, very wriggly. And then they give a little cheers with their milk. Is that what you do in the lunchroom, Scotty?
No, everyone's screaming.
Oh, okay. They don't walk around with chewing gum walks.
No, I don't walk around with gum in my mouth, chewing it, going, "What's up, guys?" I just walk around.
I don't know if that's the very wriggly they're talking about, Scotty.
Well, I don't do that.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. I'm not a freako.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Lisa's out in full force now. She's welcoming a family to America before learning they're actually being deported.
Right.
Very topical.
It is, and very poignant for our times these days. Yes.
When they get to the USO appearance, Bob Hope appears there, and this is a real Bob Hope at 89 years old. Bob Hope guest appearance. They went to his house. Jeff Martin and Conan O'Brien went to his house and recorded his lines.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he sounds like a young, spry man. I was happy for him. Yeah. So Lisa goes, and this is a direct rip of Apocalypse Now when a Playboy Playmate shows up and they charge the stage and they've got to escape in a chopper. Even as far as Bob Hope hanging on the runner, that's in Apocalypse Now. So it's really funny. Hey, drop me off at that boat show. So Lisa then is part of the float building for the big Little Miss Springfield
Cigarettes.
parade. Yeah, and she finds out that it's just going to be sitting on a box of cigarettes. It is
like
Laramie sponsored, so it shouldn't have come as too much of a shock.
I like the poster of her like by her bed praying with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth.
I thought it was a magazine cover. That makes more sense, a poster. But either way, yes, smoking while praying. She's pretty reluctant. She doesn't want little kids or even anybody to like be smoking. And the guy's like, "Come on, you're the eventual replacement for menthol mousse." So if you grew up in the 90s, you also know Joe Camel.
Yeah.
So Lisa sees kids smoking.
But the ice cream men so they go to the parade.
Oh, that's right.
They go to the parade, and I love this part because they're at the parade and all these things are walking by, and then they say something about local whatever comes by, and Homer starts saluting them, and shedding like a tear, and Marge is like, Homer, they're ice cream men, and he's like, I know.
So Lisa's float comes up and she sees like kids smoking. Even Maggie goes for a cigarette. And it affects her. She stops her float and Santa's behind going like, "Come on, what's going on up there?" And she's like not in for it anymore. She's not big
She's
on
not a corporate shill.
Yeah, that's right. She says she's not a corporate shill. She then goes to a college football game and tells everybody that college football diverts funds from education and the arts, and the football players are chased back down the tunnel by the nerds. But we find out later in a newspaper clipping that the nerds were actually destroyed by the football players.
Yeah.
So we got that for us, which is great.
But even like her standing up, even right away at the start there, she gets her first newspaper thing that says Lisa kicks butt.
Oh, that's right.
Like a butt of a cigarette, right?
Yeah. So then we get a smoky meeting where everybody is together trying to figure out how they can get, because they're all being taken down by Lisa, right? They're all corrupt, and she's there to take care of all the corruption.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's gonna take care of it.
She's gonna clean up that stink hole, right, Scotti?
Yeah.
I like that Krusty the Clown is in on this meeting of the minds as well.
Right.
Right. Like
he's just powerful, Kristen. He's just powerful. So we have the meeting, and they get a blessing in disguise. They realize that on the application for Lisa to get into the pageant, in an area that said basically "do not write in this space," Homer writes, "Okay."
Come on, we all did that after the very first time you saw this episode. Every time you're like, check.
Yes, okay. So we go. Lisa's clearly not thrilled about being disqualified, and Homer's like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry. If it weren't for me, you'd still be there." And she's like, "No, you entered me in the pageant to help me with my self-esteem, and look at it now, I'm happy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, just remember that the next time I wreck your life." And it's like,
deal.
It's a deal. Yeah, and they're watching the news, and they've already had like one cut to Lisa's controversy, and it's a baby goat drinking milk out of a bottle.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, then we go to see the John Paul interview, and it's another baby goat, and that's when he gets up and walks out. Yeah, which is I can't remember who did it.
Call the weekend guy. I don't care. That's what I like that.
Yes,
Call the weekend guy. I don't care.
I think that exact quote is Dan Rather. I think it's a Dan Rather moment where he had something that popped up like this, and he walked off, and they were like, "Dan, we got to do this." He said, "Call the weekend guy. I don't care. I don't care." Yeah. So, so this episode obviously satirizes child beauty pageants, and according to Jeff Martin, quote, "I'm not sure if we could do this episode today. People had a more innocent view of beauty pageants before Jean-Benet Ramsey."
True.
It is true. And Scotti doesn't know who Jean-Benet Ramsey is. She'll learn one day because it's just in the lexicon. But
yeah, it's just a thing in the world, right?
Maybe. This is the one last fact I have about this episode. It has been used in England by the Anglican Church to give kids lessons in self-esteem, as well as pointing out Homer's sale of the Duff beer ticket, marking a sacrifice on his part of Lisa's self-worth, was more valuable to him than his pleasure. So the church uses the Simpsons episode to teach morals.
This Simpsons episode, more than a lot of them, actually is one of the times that Homer is actually being a super supportive dad and actually giving up stuff for his kids, when often he doesn't actually give up stuff. It's like his kids' things run adjacent to his, Yeah. But this time he actually gives up something that he really loves and just throws all his support in.
Homer is, in general...
Bart wasn't really a jerk in this one either.
Oh, no.
Bart was like a good brother.
Bart was a little bisexual, and he did his thing. Homer was for the really one of the first time in the series so far, because Homer is an ignorant, naive, selfish little boy.
Yeah,
that's that's what Homer is at his root. So
Homer not selfish.
Scotti, trust me, when you watched all the episodes we have, especially early
I think especially
on.
In the
he almost walked into the ocean with a boulder in his arms.
Especially in seasons 1 through 3, selfishness does show up as a very common thread for him.
Yes.
This is a good example of him being a good dad this time.
Yeah.
Very good.
Do you have a good dad, Scotti?
Yes. He's right there talking. You just ask me if he's a good dad.
Okay. That means he's probably a pretty good dad. He's just as long as he's making sure. Our audience won't hear this, but every time we had to get back on track here, I made sure Scotti knew how much I loved her. So okay, we're coming down to the end of it here. Kristen, I know I explained it. I'm going to grab the book and the thing. Maybe explain the scores to Scotti one more time. And
okay, so now Scotti, we need to decide. Each of us needs to pick a score for the episode. You can score 1 through 4, and you can use 1.1, 2.5. If you think it's the most absolutely perfect episode ever, you can give it a 5. But only if you think it's there's no better episode than this one. Other than that, it's 1 through 4, because the Simpsons all have 4 fingers except for God, who has 5. So that's why it has to be a perfect episode for it to be a 5.
Okay. And nobody can tell you that if you believe it was a perfect episode that it wasn't. But perfect episodes are very hard to come by. That's all you need to know. Okay.
So do you have a score?
You got a score?
2.5.
2.5. That's not bad. Okay. Do you want to talk about why you gave it a 2.5? What do you like about this episode? What did you not like?
I didn't like anything.
You didn't like any part of this episode?
No,
you didn't
not that.
like it? You liked all of it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I didn't like.
You didn't dislike any of it. You
liked
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you liked it. You seem to have a lot of the lines memorized from watching it this week, so I think you must have had fun watching it, right? There were some parts that you really had fun watching.
Yeah.
And we probably won't be able to bring you back on for Mr. Plow, but we'll find another episode that you like in the future. And we'll have you on for that one, okay? Because Mr. Plow is only 2 episodes away. Okay. Scotti, 2.5. That's a good score. Okay, Kristen, you want to score it up?
I was right in that same ballpark, 2.7. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to give it a 3 because it's not it's one of those episodes I often forget even exists, okay, until it comes up like it did this week, and I'm like, oh yeah, this one. And then I remember a lot of the Bart doing the sexy walk, and I remember the Blimpy Boy song. I know the Blimpy Boy song, and rewatching it now, I'm like, oh, there's so many actually really good.
Blimpy Boy, flying through the sky so fancy free.
There's actually so many good cultural references in this one. It's really packed, and not just with things they're saying, but actual visual gags and stuff like that as well. So I remember I am there for that. So yeah, 2.7. I'm gonna go 2. It could have been just a tiny bit funnier for me, So 2.7.
I think I was also in the didn't want to give it a 3 boat. But as a dad with daughters, there's that for me. We're not a beauty pageant family. We never will be. That's not. I don't believe in that kind of stuff.
Other things, right? You can apply this same logic to other things, right?
Right. Like I told Scotti she put too much glitter on her face when we started here tonight. I think my children are beautiful without a bunch of makeup and crap on.
I don't wear makeup. Boston does.
Okay, relax.
I literally threw away all my makeup.
Relax. I gave this episode a 2.9 because
2.9,
I have daughters
fair.
that I love so much. They're so well behaved, and this just reminded me so much of them. I just really couldn't help but feel like
That's
it
because
was mirroring
again,
real life for me.
Again, for another episode, the Family Man Dad score it comes into view.
And
It's okay. You're allowed to. That's a life experience. You're allowed to have it. I'm just saying.
As somebody who feels like they do a great job as a dad, I'm often bummed out by Homer's decision making.
Yeah.
So
but this time he made good decisions. So it
which
was
is
good.
why this episode got as high as a 2.9.
Yeah.
Because it's full of stuff. It is chock full of references. It is
tons.
And none of them are that funny. None of them are that great. They are there. And I do appreciate.
But they're not like funny ones, you know?
No, but I can appreciate like everything being a reference to something, because Family Guy does the thing where it's like, yeah, remember the time where blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't dislike Family Guy. I love like the references are sometimes a little predate me a tad.
Yeah.
They're direct references. It's not a hidden thing. The Simpsons, you don't know you wouldn't have been like, oh, that's Bo Derek. That's great. It's like stuff you gotta either, like you said, inherently know or
look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Trivia question.
Yes, let's do the trivia question.
I won't give any to Scotti because these are a little tough for a new Simpsons fan. But you listen up for Kristen, Scotti. She's gonna do two. First one's multiple choice, but I won't give them to you right off the bat. What was Homer doing when he realized he didn't know his middle name?
Oh my God. Was he no. I feel like was he painting something or something like that, or renovations? I just remember there's a part where he sees it like the J, but then they don't know what the J stands for.
He is either singing, filling out a form, or joining the army.
Filling out a form?
He is filling out a form because he puts Homer J. Simpson, and they're like, well, what does the J stand for?
J stand for.
Oh, and then he goes and finds the painting, and the J stands for J.
Thank you, because I know there was like a painting or something in there, but I could not.
It's of like little naked child Homer.
Little naked Homer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when he found out he was a little naked baby hippie, you know?
Yes. And that's when the guys who were there are George Carlin and I can't remember the other guy's name. He recently passed. He was in Roseanne. That's where like I knew him from. He was Leon. Okay. This one, non-multiple choice, is a character selection. Who said, "Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful evening of theater and picking up after yourselves"?
Oh my God, I know that. I know that. It was Principal Skinner said it, didn't he?
It was Prince.
Yeah, and then it's also followed by like we're going to be doing this for X amount of minutes. The doors
we've
have
locked
been
the
locked.
doors. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm glad when my brain works. Makes me happy.
Okay, and
my brain doesn't.
Simpsons World
It's
Ultimate
a rare
Simpsons
occasion
Guide
for me.
Seasons 1 through 20 book has a character profile.
The 500-pound book. Yes.
You want to take a guess as to who this profile was?
Lisa.
Amber Dempsey.
Oh, Amber Dempsey.
Amber's vocation is professional junior Miss Beauty pageant participant. Her appearance, curly blonde hair, fluttery eyelashes, and glittery smile. Her threads of choice are sequined sailor suit and fur coat. The estimated cost of her dimples are $5,000 apiece. And her secret shame is her eyelashes are implants. Her quote is, "Hi, I'm Amber Dempsey, and when I grow up, I want to be a sweetie pie."
I want to be a sweetie pie.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of our episode. We got our trivia done. And of course, Kristen nailed it as always. We got our Simpsons World Ultimate Simpsons Guide character profiles done. Scotti, thank you for coming on tonight. I know you have a very busy schedule. I'm glad you could carve out some time for us. After this, you get to go brush your teeth and head to bed, so that's pretty fun for you. So did you have fun tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
You only got disciplined a tad. That's okay. That's what we got to learn somehow, right?
Yes.
But why is learning?
I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Hey, why is being wrong okay?
It teaches you a lesson.
That's right. We learn from it. That's what's up. And you learned a lesson by knowing that you learned a lesson. Yeah. All right. I'm proud of you. Okay, Kristen, we got some good scores there. Not the highest. I think that is ours. You know what's funny is we actually went a little higher when Boston was on, but Boston went so low that it brought us down to a 2.7, which is tied for the lowest with this episode at a 2.7. But we were a lot more consistent here.
Look at George in the background. She's like, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, the cat does not like the cone.
No, he doesn't. Cone of shame on old hey there, Georgie boy. You got a cone on and you look so dumb.
Jealous. Just kidding.
Well, his name is Georgie boy, so
it's true.
It's you know, one
he
more
doesn't
time.
Look dumb though.
Hey there, Georgie girl, swinging down the street so fancy-free. Nobody you meet could ever see the loneliness there
inside of you. Wonderful times, everybody. Scotti, is there anything you would like to add before we head out here tonight?
Like your last words.
Final things. Nah.
I'm good.
You had fun? Did you enjoy hanging out with your dad and Kristen?
As old folks.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Kristen, any parting words for our friends out there on the internet, our Simpsons fans extraordinaire?
I believe that all of them are beautiful and that they too could grow up to be Miss Springfield if they really, really, really tried.
Wow. And I think you all are ugly ducklings. So take from that.
So if I did like just calling me an ugly duckling.
Maybe you'll grow up and turns out that you were actually just a beautiful swan all along. I need to teach my kids more fairy tales.
I'm beautiful than you, at least.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a very nice thing to say in very poor English. Okay, Scotti, thank you for coming on. Kristen, what a beautiful time we had here. Scotti, definitely going to be our youngest guest of all time, and it's going to stay that way. So you go enjoy your clay and your teeth brush and your bedtime, Scotti. Kristen, maybe do the same. I don't know. I don't know what you got going on over there.
I get my ice cream.
Listen, here's the deal. We haven't had an Off the Rails episode yet, and we needed to have one. And you know what? Scotti was able to provide, so I'm very happy.
Thank you, Scotti.
I'll be here for that.
You're welcome.
Scotti, I love you. Thank you for being here. Kristen, I love you too. Thank you for being here.
Love you too.
Everybody on the internet, I love you guys. Thanks for coming out and listening.
There's so much love
to our little show here on the internet. You know, we like The Simpsons. We're going to keep doing this. We were talking about it. I was talking about it with my family, and it's going to take like 14 years to finish the show if we keep it up at this pace. So we're going to be hanging out, guys. We're just going to be doing this thing.
Just get used to it, okay?
Yeah.
Just
okay. See you later, Scotti. So
I can't hear you.
we don't need her to finish.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Don't mess with stuff, please. Don't mess with stuff. This is the end of the show. Okay.
No, I didn't mess with anything. You just started glitching, and then you guys just went.
Okay.
Oh, we died. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
It's the end of the show. Keep it all in. Thank you, everybody. We love you all. Enjoy your rest of your night, all that good stuff. I think I missed a sound in there earlier for the end of the episode, but gosh darn it, it's but it's just been.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, Scotti. We're not done. We're not done yet. So yeah, okay. Quiet for a second, Scotti. Ready?
Shh.